Hello everyone. I am Ishita Vasisht from DAV Data Solutions. In this expert talk series, we will be interviewing thought leaders in the field of data science to understand about the motivation behind their career choice, their career trajectory, key skills, and main challenges that they encounter, especially in their professional life. Today, with us, we have Mr. Joy Mustafi, who was chosen by the Analytics India magazine as one of the top 10 data scientists back in 2015. Joy Mustafi is associated as chief scientist at Aviso AI to drive the research and innovation on artificial intelligence and data science practices. He worked as principal researcher at Salesforce, primarily responsible for sales for Einstein. Joy has overall 18 years of experience in the corporate research and academic world, having worked as principal and applied scientist at Microsoft, artificial intelligence and research, data science and machine learning. He was with IBM for a decade as a data scientist and involved in the business analytics and optimization, Watson Solutions, IT operations analytics, etc. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It is an honor for us to have this talk with you in the vast field of data science.
Thanks, Ishita. And hello, everyone.
Thank you. Please tell us, the first question that I would love to ask you would obviously be, please tell us, where did you actually start this illustrious career and what actually motivated you to become a data scientist?
So when I was doing my graduation, right, with Narendrapur Ramakrishna Mission in statistics, so I had no computer science course that time. It was statistics, mathematics, and economics. But there was a computer in our like library section, and I thought like, okay, let me just explore what's there. And then I got to know like the person who was sitting in front of, he was one of the students, the second year student, and I was there that time, first year BSc. And that guy said that this is called programming, what I'm doing, and you will not understand it because you're in first year. I said like, okay. So I just borrowed a book from library and try to study what is called programming, and it was GW basic programming. And then I just tried to learn like what are the syntax there being used, and then I got a chance to sit in front of that computer, and that computer is a very basic computer. It's like IBM PC 1981, so it doesn't have any mouse or something. It's just a plain like black and white monitor with only keyboard and a floppy drive for booting the operating system. So and then once I tried like a few programs just following the book which I borrowed, and then it was really working. And then I thought like, okay, now let me try the statistical methods what I learned and in my theory. So can I write those logics in program, right? So then I started like writing some programs on statistical applications, and finally completed the entire package. And I showed it to my professors, like, how is it? So that time, definitely the phrase data science was not there. But what I did in early 90s, those are actually data science. Okay, so that was my interest. And then definitely I was also interested in this latest technologies, including robotics and all. Even the plan of master research came in mind when I was in standard 9, right, much before this. So, and when I started my journey, like professionally, I was a researcher at Indian Statistical Institute. I also love to teach. I was visiting faculty in multiple organizations, including Presidency College, Narendra Ramakrishna Mission, Regional Computer Center. And those are like my beginning. And I used to teach this advanced technologies, especially like automata theory and then compiler design, right, which are again very similar to what is required for data science applications and all, including natural language processing. So when I started my journey at ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, so I wrote my first program in C, and those are like for neural network. In 2002, no other corporate actually started working on neural network, I'm pretty sure. Few academic organizations, they focused on this deep research, but these are not famous or not popular in the corporate world that time. Later on, it started like even when like IBM launched their Watson, even Google started their like search, and Microsoft also had like a lot of applications. And so but those came later, right? I mean, but because that time, early 2000, all the corporates were busy on the like especially on the OOPS and the RDBMS and big data, those things, but not AI or machine learning kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? Even Java was like very famous that time. So in that way, like my journey started. So I was like one of the early starter in this field, and then we also started this mask research, which is like again focused for how to enhance our skills in this particular field and how to bridge the gap between industry and academia.
That is some insight, actually, to be honest, especially that you started so young. Really good to hear. Thank you so much for such a detailed answer. My second question revolves around, data science as a job, so touted as one of the sexiest jobs in the 21st century, to be honest. Data science is what, graduates also are looking at to become in the recent times, especially. What are the qualities, according to you, that actually distinguish the wheat from the chaff and make a candidate stand out, to be honest, to a potential employer? If you could just throw some light on that.
Sure. Yeah. So main thing is like as I mentioned. So when I started with that statistical applications, right? So statistics, mathematics, computer science, and combining these, right? And especially a few of the domain knowledge as well. Although for fresh candidates, we don't expect the domain knowledge like healthcare or
Right.
telco, or those are very important for data science. But at the beginning of the career, one should be very good at programming as well as knowing the algorithm from mathematics and statistics background. So those are very important, like how the data I mean, we are writing a program like which is where we know like input and the output, and then we are generating the I mean corresponding program, right? So it's like a program for another program, right? So
Got it.
it's different from typical IT or software engineering. So normal software engineering, we know like this is the input and I have to write a program so that it will generate the output. But in data science, we have to write a program where we know the input and output both, and then we generate a program which will generate another program, which is
Got it.
essentially done by the software engineers. So it's one level up of software engineering. So definitely who are studying computer science or studying statistics, they have to know, like the statistics students should know the programming part, the programming, I mean the programmers or the software engineers should know the statistics part, and then bridge the gap and then learn data science. So in Mask Research, we started like working on those. Even we recently launched Mask Research Academy, which is totally a different course for newbies, even
Okay.
for experienced candidates who are willing to shift their career, right? So they want to become data scientists. So it's very much like affordable, and at the same time, like it's much better than any other course available right now in the market.
That's great. Great to know. Really nice insight. My third question, sir, is around what, according to you, is actually the future of data science in transforming business worldwide?
Yeah. So I mean there are a lot of different opportunities in the future, right? So definitely I mean we are having like a lot of different resources, a lot of different use cases, right? And the resources are, earlier we used to collect primary data, now we have like from internet, now user generated data like the
Right.
mobile data. So we are collecting like a lot of data, and then I mean the advancement of the technologies in recent past, right? So we have now smart TV, smart watch, right? Tomorrow it will be smart washing machine. Suppose you put some clothes and it will say like, oh, you have like too many red t-shirt, why don't you buy a blue one, right? So the washing machine can, so it's a vast future, right? I mean we can have like in different domains like in education, healthcare, retail, transportation,
True.
agriculture, right? And we focus mostly on the which is low hanging fruits and then immediately deliver, rather than being too much of futuristic, which where the consumable things are not there. So we have to think about like what can be consumed by the users quickly, rather than waiting for another 5 years or 10 years.
I actually second what you're saying totally. Um, my fourth question here is that how do you think data science and AI can be leveraged for social good?
Hmm. First of all, to give you like this, the phrases, right? Data science, AI, machine learning, deep learning. So these are all related. Okay, these are not
Yeah.
like two different subjects. Rather, it's like so. I would say like So data science is more like a superset where it is not essentially only AI. There can
Right.
be without AI data science. For an example, when we started like descriptive analytics, which is not
Mm-hmm.
AI at all, but it is still data science, right? When we are trying to get the business intelligence, it was earlier called as business intelligence, BI, right? So it is not AI, but it is data science. So AI is a subset of data science where we are applying like some logic which is similar to human decision making. Now to simulate human decision making power, right, we have like machine learning is one of the subset of AI. But there may be some systems which are not based on machine learning, but it is still AI. For an example, IBM Deep Blue, it was a chess playing like computer, supercomputer. It was launched in again late 90s, and it defeated Gary Kasparov, who was the grandmaster that time. So that is definitely it's an AI system, but it's not ML system. It's not machine learning, right? But when IBM launched IBM Watson, that's definitely machine learning. Or Google AlphaGo, or Microsoft Cortana, or Apple Siri. These are all based on machine learning. Now,
Right.
inside machine learning, also there are subsets, right?
Hmm.
So we have deep learning, which is like one step ahead again. Even the feature engineering and a lot of hyperparameter tuning and all these things can be automated, which we used to do as a data scientist. So now the data scientist's job is like to automate some of the portion of software engineering. Now in deep learning method, actually there are a lot of jobs for data scientists which can be automated. So it's like superset and subset, right? So data
Got
science,
it.
then AI, and then machine learning, then deep learning. At the same time, like if you ask what are the aspects, right, for these, right, or to be very very specific, like what is exactly you're asking on this, like AI and data science, how.
In social good. Social
Yeah,
good. How?
in
Yeah.
social good, definitely, as I mentioned earlier as well, right? So especially what we are thinking about, like the, so we call it like heart in mast. So heart is like HEART. So H is like healthcare, then education, then agriculture, then retail, transportation, and last is like the smart city. So hearts. So totally, these are the fields where we are looking for, at. At the same time, I think DAV is also working with that, and including Government of India, right? I mean, Niti Aayog,
Yes.
they focused on all
Yeah.
these fields. So that would make sense, right? I mean, when we solve the problems for the at very ground level, and which actually relates with the society, and the
Right.
entire mass research is built on like for societal benefit. So the objective of mass research is like do research for societal benefit. So we don't do any business. So it's completely non-profit
Yeah.
organizations, and we have around 500 plus members. And recently we launched this Must Academy as well to enhance career set as well. But people can join whoever has interest, like on data science and AI, and they can just contribute with respect to technology. So there are NGOs like for contribution with money, there are NGOs for contribution with time, but we are the NGO like where we are contributing with technology. So it's kind of a difference.
That's really good to know, to be honest. And I just have a subset, like a sub question here. So what do you feel are the main challenges for using data and AI in such applications?
So challenge is like definitely getting data, right? I mean, if I'm
Hmm.
thinking about like I will do it for healthcare, right? For an
Right.
example, just a small project we started with this doctor's handwritten prescription reading and automatically digitized, right?
Okay.
So now the challenge is like, I mean, how to collect data. We know
True.
like the very challenging thing, at least in India, we still have like handwritten doctor's prescription, which for human being also very difficult to read. Sorry, no offense for doctors, but that is, but if you give the same prescription to a pharmacy guy, that
Yeah,
person
he
will
can
read it like within 2 3 seconds.
actually.
Now what that person has, I mean, is he or she more intelligent, more qualified, or very good at biology and medical science? Probably no. So you may say like, oh, that guy is more experienced. Now what is experience here? Probably more terminologies, some knowledge base, right? Or that person knows like the connection between like painkiller and antacid will go together, or paracetamol. What are the different paracetamols I have in
Yeah.
stock? Which doctor will prescribe which particular medicine brand? So multiple other things, and then what is the age of the patient, gender of the patient? Based on these, right, that person can quickly say like this is the medicine, and all of these he or she can read quickly. So now the same kind of intelligence, if we want to build for a computer, so definitely it will be helpful, right, for the, at least for the rural area, if we just
Yes.
provide this, and there is a central office where all this kind of information can be collected. Now to start with that project, right, we need like a lot of prescriptions, right?
Hmm.
Handwritten prescriptions. Now prescription, a medical prescription is very much like sensible personal data, Like, I
Hmm.
cannot request you like, Ishita, can you give me your last 1 year all
Obviously.
medical prescriptions, right? That I
Yeah.
cannot ask, because that's your personal information. So these are the challenges, right? I mean, to collect data itself, I mean, sometimes the architecture is ready, we know like what to do, but to train a huge model, right, or a robust system, we need like a lot of data. And sometimes it is easy to get, like if it is weather data, stock price, it's fine. But if it is something which is very much personal, then we have to be very careful. And I mean, we may not proceed with that project at all due to personal reasons.
I agree totally. So it's so vast what we've discussed within these 20-15 minutes. So starting from, where we are to how we can help somebody who's just started, where do we actually see ourselves going in the field of data scientist, and what are the challenges at ground zero that we actually foresee and go through every day. It is great to hear, to be honest, how your organization, Aviso AI, is using data, and there's a must research as well that you spoke about, and how this is so relevant to the sustainable development goals of 2030. We wish you so very best for your future endeavors, and thank you so much for your time. To everybody who's watching us, thank you so much for watching and spending time. We will definitely be back with more relevant videos in the field of data scientist. Please share, subscribe, like us in case you like this video. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for joining.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.